Yo Kings, what is up? I hope all is well. We got a little bit of news to dissect. Before we begin, I want to ask you guys to consider smashing that subscribe button, like, comment. You guys know the drill. Without further ado, let's get into the yes. So, as expected, although I was holding out, especially in lieu of the recent assassination attempt, as expected, J.D. Vance has been selected as the vice presidential candidate to Donald Trump, or nominee rather. And this is a problem on many levels. But before I get into the problems, let me first address why maybe this is not as big of a deal. Number one, the vice president has limited power. Most of the power is given to the president. I've said this in a previous video. In your vice president, there's two types of people that you choose, okay? Well, perhaps three, but I'll give you the main two. It's turned into a perhaps three in this day and age of diversity, equity, fake orchestrated equality, and all of that. You choose a finisher, somebody who gets shit done, pushes things through, enacts your policies, helps put people in, essentially somebody who has excellent managerial experience, who is extremely technical, one might say diligent and focused on pushing through what needs to get pushed through and done. The other way is somebody that is essentially a pushover, that is just there just because they have to be there, and they're not going to sway the balance one way or the other. Because with your vice presidential pick, you don't, if he does not meet the qualification of the first point, then you don't want him to be somebody that ruffles feathers and makes it to the point where you're literally losing votes because you're presidential. You don't want a super polarizing pick. That's why, Vivek was not my number one pick as vice president as far as that aspect, but he is somebody who has shown an ability to get shit done. So he would fit the first criteria. The other criteria, of course, is to fit, diversity, equity, and, ridiculous, nonsensical, made up criteria. J.D. Vance, okay, so, but again, it's the vice president only has so much power. However, what I would say, though, is that there have been numerous former presidents who were at one time a vice president. You all know that having VP in your name or on your title, on your resume, drastically improves your chances at becoming president as long as you don't fuck it up as vice president, like Mike Pence did. Okay? That guy literally is a crash course for how not to be vice president. I wouldn't say that he was bad all the way through, but he certainly was not excellent. You do have outliers like a Dick Cheney, who really was essentially the president, as opposed to George Bush, but I digress. Those are outliers. So, although they don't have a ton of power, they have an opportunity at increasing and improving their resume, and they often become president down the line. Not necessarily because they were vice president, but it does help their chances. Now, let's get to the negatives, okay? Number one, to me, outside of my disagreements with him politically, okay, he is a swamp creature, make no mistake about it. He lacks character, okay? What is to say that, so if you guys are not aware, J.D. Vance was a never Trumper. I should have started this video by saying that Donald Trump has selected former never Trumper J.D. Vance. I should have started this video by saying that, okay? How can anybody possibly trust your character when you were willing and able to change on a dime after being so vehemently a never Trumper? Furthermore, how can anybody trust your stances one way or the other when you have so easily flip-flopped? How can anybody trust that you are going to stay a pro-Trumper? How can anybody trust that you won't burn Trump in a moment's notice if it benefits you? The bottom line is, J.D. Vance is a politician. If you were to formulate what a swamp creature looks like, what a establishment douchebag looks like, J.D. Vance would be that picture with the resume. You know, he went to Yale, he served in the military, he's been a part of all the good old boy clubs, and I get it. Some of you guys, especially some of you boomers, are going to be like, no, that means he's qualified. Him being a part of those things means, you know, it's a good thing. Okay, that used to be the thinking, and perhaps at one point in time in this history that may have been true, but that's not true any longer. Nowadays, it's seen as a negative, especially for many conservatives, especially dissident right conservatives, to be somebody who has been a part of all of these establishment regimes or clubs, okay? This guy sucks. There is no getting around it. I would be even more livid had I not expected this. This has been coming down the pipeline. I had, you know, somebody that I listened to that has been saying this for a while, and I trust his information. This has been coming down the pipeline for a long time. You know, is this better than fucking Nikki Haley? I don't know. I mean, you know, 2 dozen, half a dozen of the other. I mean, how does the saying go? I mean, it's they're both evils. You know, it's not even like a lesser evil. It's like they fucking your arms are exploding off your torso. You're getting fucked either way. So it just does not matter, okay? Unfortunately, and I know Trump was, it looks like there was an attempted assassination attempt against him, and that sucks. That was terrible, okay? I've said this, I like Trump as a guy, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Trump is nearly full-blown establishment, okay? Trump, and I have detailed this numerous times, numerous videos. Trump does not care about governing, okay? He likes the hoopla, he likes the battle, he likes the fight, but as far as the day-to-day governings, he does not care. And that is why I have detailed why it is so important to be the person that is Trump's enforcer, that is the day-to-day person. Because if you look at Trump's campaign, okay, or his administration, when it went well, he had good people in those positions. When it went poorly, he had bad people in those positions. Usually establishment, neocon goofballs, okay? Skis balls. So this sucks, but it was expected. This has been coming down the pipeline for a while now. A lot of people knew that this was going to be the case. I really hate to admit it, but what are you going to do? You know, Trump is there are other people running his campaign. I mean, that is all there is to it. And, I'm not telling you this as like a anti-Trump. Of course not. I'm not telling you this as like a, don't vote for Trump. I'm telling you this as a, you need to know this and then make your own choice. Okay. Now, if you know all of these truths and you still are okay voting for Trump, so be it. And I may even be in that same boat myself, okay? Because Trump still, for the most part, is an awesome guy. But, it's, this is not a good VP pick. And Trump has shown a massive inability, or rather ability, to choose people who are his enemies, people who have literally gone against him and been his political enemy from the get-go. And I hate to say it, but if we continue on this trajectory, if Trump continues on this trajectory, Trump will end up being known largely, now of course history is written by the victors, but Trump will largely be known as the guy who was phenomenally impressive regarding getting people excited, stirring up conversations and thoughts and discussions of change, revolution. But when it came down to it, he was as bad as it gets at doing what needed to be done to fulfill his promises. So I don't like this pick one bit, and I know I'm not the only one. How important is it going to be when all is said and done? Only time will tell. I don't think that the pick itself is going to end up being, that important. Who knows? Maybe this might catapult J.D. Vance. It may bring him down like it did Mike Pence. But what I do know is that this is illustrious. This is illustrative, illuminating of the Trump issues, of the people who are actually in control of his campaign. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to smash that subscribe button, like, comment, share. You guys know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow on facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. I love you, kings. We've got to keep fighting. Christ is king. Peace.